fruits class?
I just love it so much. I was just thinking about how it's so beautiful. Like, really, we're just hosting the presence of God and instructing a little bit down the way, and people are like just encountering Jesus and like moved, you know? Like, last night was so precious, you know? I just shared like a word that the Lord had put on my heart as we were listening, and we just took a moment to listen. And as each of us went around and shared what we sensed him speaking to our hearts in that moments of reflection, as I began to share, the Lord just inviting people to rest and slow down and enjoy his presence. He was giving us that gift. One of the girls just started weeping, and it was beautiful. It was like, it was kind of surprising at first, right? Like, everybody's like, what? And then we just know, oh, that like ministered to our heart. And we just said, it's okay. We passed the tissues, and I'm so sorry, I don't cry in front of people. And we're like, you're not crying in front of people, you're hiding it. It was so good. It was so beautiful. We just had moments where people could be, as Mark said, tell me something real. And so we began to fellowship that way, talk about what's really going on in our lives, and then begin to process a love relationship with Jesus for the rest of your days. Is there anything different than that from when we first gave our lives to Jesus? I think not. It's just deeper and richer and more beautiful. So anyway, it's just made me so happy.
So you liked Fruits class?
Loved it.
You liked reaching out to those
Oh, I love it. I just think
young
those
followers
precious
of
lives,
Jesus.
those
Yes.
lives are so beautiful, and they're just beginning to like understand. One of the girls went to the hospital, the ER, and she said it was the middle of the night the day before something happened, and so she finds herself on the way to the ER. She can't even drive, her roommate's driving her, and she said, but what I really wanted was for my mom to be there. It was the first time I'd ever been to the emergency room without my mom, so I called her on the way and had to update her afterwards. But I was scared to talk to the doctor, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's so relatable. Like, I remember my first trip to the doctor without my mom, and I was like, what do I do? What if I forget something? Like, did I do it all right? So anyway, just seeing that very formative time. And then another little precious one is declaring, like, I heard from Jesus for the first time in a really long time this last week, and I couldn't stop crying. And I like have a past, and so came out of rehab and haven't heard from him since, and so it was so beautiful.
Come on.
And she ended up praying us out of the time together, and it's like, oh, these lives are so good. They're still pulling all-nighters, you know? That's part of why tears are at the ready, but it's so good. It's so good.
But they're learning to follow Jesus.
That's exactly right. It's just beautiful.
I love it.
Thanks
for sharing.
Of course.